Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about coordinates. I'm going to talk to you about how to plot them, what they look like, and then we're going to look at a problem solving question. So first of all, let's start off by looking at the grid, which is on the left hand side of the screen. So on this grid you'll see two what we call axes. You'll have the x-axis, which is the horizontal one, and the y-axis, which is the vertical one. Now if you have trouble remembering that, just remember that x is across the page, but also x is a cross because it looks like a cross. So therefore hopefully that will give you a little way of remembering that it goes across the page, and then y goes up the page. Now when you plot a coordinate, coordinates are basically written as in a pair of brackets with a comma in the middle, and the first coordinate is always your x coordinate and the second coordinate is always your y coordinate, which is done just in alphabetical order, so that's how you can remember that. Now if we look at the little dot that we've got on the screen here, this has an x coordinate of 4, so we would put a 4 here, and it has a y coordinate of 3, so we would put a 3 there. I could choose another point, so if I was to choose, I don't know, this point here, that one's got an x coordinate of 1 and a y coordinate of 5. And that's it really, it's as simple as that. That is how you plot the coordinates. Okay, so x first and then y, so then you can describe where anything is on your grid. Right, so let's have a look at a problem solving question in relation to a coordinate axis and how that might look. So here's an example. So we've been given a grid on the left hand side and there are no numbers on the axes, you'll notice. It tells us that the diagram shows two squares, and that's really important, on top of each other. So first of all you need to know that a square has all equal sides, so all the lengths will be the same. And it tells you to write down the coordinates of B and C. Okay. Now it has told us that the coordinate A is 10, 10, which means that here that number on the x-axis must be 10, and this number here where B is must also be 10. Now if we think about the coordinate B has an x-axis of 0, an x-coordinate rather, of 0 because it is on the y-axis. So anywhere up here the x-coordinate will be 0. So that's 0. And your y-coordinate must be 10 because it's in line with A. We know it's a square, so A and B are opposite each other. So the y-coordinate of B must be 10. Now C is a little bit more tricky, but again we've just got to remember the fact that we have actually got one of the points already, and we've been told we've got a square. So first of all let's look at the x coordinate for C. Now C is in line, we can see, with A, which means it must have the same x coordinate. It's along that same line, so therefore the x coordinate C must be 10. Now the other thing that we know is that these two squares are put on top of each other. We can see their widths are the same, so therefore their heights must also be the same. So that means if that's 10, that distance must also be 10, which means that this point here must be 20. So the y coordinate for C must be 20. So that's how you can work it out. So we have a B coordinate which is 0, 10, and a C coordinate which is 10, 20.